Hey everybody, what's going on today, tonight, this afternoon, whatever time it is in your neck of the woods? Thought I'd make a video about one of the most controversial figures on the interwebs, in podcasting, social media, YouTube, whatever you want to say, Spotify. That's definitely going to be Joe Rogan. Especially over the last 3 years, we all, if you follow Joe Rogan at all, and certainly if you follow politics, you know that Joe Rogan has pissed off a lot of people over the last 3 years with some of his views, some of his guests, in regards to the events of the last 3 to 4 years and the illness that was going around, the virus that was going around. And to me, I think viewpoints that are not mainstream are healthy. Now, are they always correct? No, they're definitely not always correct. In fact, I think the truth lies somewhere in the middle of both extremes. And the great thing about Rogan is he probably would admit that as well. I think that what people like about Joe Rogan is, he tends to bring on people that don't necessarily, to his podcast, that don't necessarily agree with him, or he doesn't agree with them. And he kind of lets them speak on that particular angle that seems to motivate them or drive them or want them to try and make a change. So you got to respect that. And he's been, they've tried to cancel him off of Spotify. Certain groups of people have tried to remove him from Spotify, shut him down, censor him, have episodes removed, which I think he actually did willingly. So one of the things I like about Rogan's podcast is that if you so when I started making videos, you do a little research and like what should my channel be about, etc., etc. And most of the advice that you see online from these people that are successful gurus or whatever, they tell you to always have a one main point, one main topic, one main idea that you push on your channel, and that's how you be successful. But Rogan, and it may be because he got in early on the podcasting in 2009, I think he started, and he got in early, so he just started talking about whatever, whenever, to whoever, and however. And it's worked really well for him, and I think he's just so big now that he has the ability and the luxury to talk about whatever he wants. And it's certainly worked. I mean, his guests range from UFOologists to jiu-jitsu guys, to other comedians, to doctors, to lawyers, to billionaires, just some of the most influential people in the world, it's just pretty amazing. Actually, it shows you how big and successful his podcasting is. And of course his UFC side gig, I guess you could call it at this point, although I'm sure he makes a ton of bread from the UFC as well. But he, as I said, he started making or announcing UFC fights for free in the very beginning when the UFC was in its the Zuffa, when Zuffa bought UFC as we know it now. They've sold it since then, but Dana White brought him on, and he worked for free, so that's pretty cool. Just did it for the joy of it. Rogan's been a comedian. He's been in sitcoms. He's been on, of course, Fear Factor. He's had comedy specials. Pretty overall talented individual, at least in terms of expanding his horizons. A lot of people don't find him funny. I'm not a huge fan of his stand-up. I think he's much better as a UFC commentator or podcaster, but stand-up seems to be one of his passions. So more power to him. Although to be fair, I haven't watched much of his recent stand-up comedy. So it is what it is. Rogan back in the day, pretty ripped dude. Very good shape. He's still in great shape for a guy that's 54, 55. As we age, of course, our midsections get thicker. Shoulders go down a little bit. But I know that he does talk about being on TRT, and I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little GH in there as well, mixed in. But again, certainly one of the most recognizable voices, faces, etc., in the world. And that just goes to show you that hard work, dedication, and passion, in particular for the things that you do, can really pay off. Granted, most of us will never be 100th as successful as Joe Rogan in the media world, but it's just something to really inspire to. His success, not necessarily the way he acts or things he believes in. I know that, as I said, a lot of people are quite taken aback by a lot of the things that he says, and I don't agree with everything either. But that's the great thing about it; we don't have to. So, yeah, I'm just, it's pretty cool. Eventually things will die down, but right now he's certainly riding a wave of success, and you have to admire that, whether or not you agree with his beliefs or not. So, have a good rest of your day, folks.